All right, we are a week out from the Cork City Marathon, which is by far and away the best day of the year in Cork City. Delighted to be joined by one of the marathon leaders, Padraig O'Queeve. Padraig, how are you, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. And you?
I'm very well, thank you very much indeed. I'd imagine excitement levels for you now are building. We're about a week out from the Cork City Marathon, so how are you feeling?
Nervous, excited, cautious, don't want to get injured. I just want to get to the start line, all of the above. But yeah, kind of w wishing it was upon us. I wish it was this Sunday, to be honest.
Yeah, we're not too far away there now, so it won't be long creeping up. Tell me, for people who don't know, tell me what a marathon leader is.
Well, the Runner's Diary podcast, uh, I think they do it every year, or they have been doing it every year, where they selected four people from different categories to represent, I suppose, their category
Yeah.
and people that might want to know how to run a marathon or follow our journey. So it's a little bit like Operation Transformation, where we are the example, except maybe we are losing weight as we go along. But yeah, so it's a little bit like that, where people are following our journey and maybe learning from us or learning what not to do and, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been different for me. So
Yeah, yeah,
doing a little bit of social media and yeah, moving into that realm as well, and
yeah,
recording my journey for
yeah.
me and for others as well. So it's
And
been good.
I'd imagine you've met some great people through it because, like, the running community in Cork is just such a friendly, welcoming community.
Yeah, it's been amazing because I didn't think, although people have been following me, I didn't think people would be so generous with their time and coming up afterwards or coming up before a race and getting loads of advice. And it's amazing. The thing I've learned most is that no matter how good or fast people are, they always have good advice and are very helpful to. Well, slow middle of the pack kind of a runner, so I wouldn't be finishing it in major times. But it doesn't matter. People love giving
Mm.
you advice, helping you, and that's been really, really encouraging. And yeah, it's been a lovely part of it, lovely community, as you say. So it's been brilliant. Yeah.
Take me back a little bit, Padraig, and talk to me about your history with running and how you started.
Uh, I started running only about 3 years ago. So I did do a bit of cycling, as everybody, played a bit of soccer, played a bit of GA in my past, and then the years flew back, played a bit of music. So I kind of went out then, and when I hit the age of 50, I said I really want to start being fit, started cycling, found that a little bit too dangerous and found it monotonous and cycling for a long time. Now I'm doing long runs that are probably longer than I was cycling. So started running, said I wouldn't run more than 10K, my knees wouldn't cope with it. Did a 5K, did a 10K, did a 10 mile, did a half marathon, and now I'm doing my first marathon. So it's been a kind of well, not a quick journey, but it's been a journey that has become, in a very good way, very addictive for my health and my well-being, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. When did you decide to do the marathon?
After the half marathon last year,
Straight away.
and straight away we were celebrating in our local pub down here in Waterfall, and there was a group of us, and we said, yeah, definitely. And you kind of forget then that a half marathon is 21 kilometers and a full marathon is the same again.
Yeah.
So that was the learning process. And then I suppose I do like social media, that sort of thing. So when the Runner's Diary podcast were offering an opportunity to be a leader, I entered thinking, they'll never select me, but I got the phone call, and so that's been good because I've got a coach and I've got, health, a strength and conditioning person helping me. I did get an injury earlier on, so I got my own physio as well, and all those combined has been really helpful in my journey to where we are now.
So talk to me, Padraig, about I suppose, your typical training week and how it's ramped up then, I suppose, coming up towards the marathon.
I think Keir McKeown is the coach, and from the get-go, really, he pushed me on to about 3 or 4 days a week running, whereas it would start at, I'm speaking in kilometers now, so
Mm.
we might have started off just doing a 5 kilometer, a 6 kilometer, and then we might have had some interval trainings where we're sprinting a little bit, just doing 80 meters at a faster pace during a run. And then at the weekend, I was maybe started off doing 16 kilometers. And then as the weeks go by, he sends me my week then in advance so I can see and say, oh, jeepers, I'm doing 20 kilometers this weekend and
Mm.
25 kilometers. That's actually the distance that I found the hardest when I hit 25, because that was the longest that I run.
Yeah.
So I've been doing now maybe 5 days a week, and the long runs have gone up and up as far as 32 kilometers, and that was the longest I've run. But I do enjoy the sessions during the week where we're doing sprint work and pickups and all that sort of terminology that I have to Google half the time to find out what they are, or ask him as well. But yeah, it has been interesting, but I've realized a half marathon is wonderful, but a full marathon is a fair commitment.
Yeah, it
It's a huge,
certainly is. Yeah, time-wise as well, Padraig. It takes a lot out of like not just your time, but your family time as well.
yeah, and my wife is running it with me as well. So,
Brilliant.
well, not with me. She's quicker than me, so she'll be slightly ahead. So yeah, the two of us are very patient in going who's going to do what and when. And our kids are kind of young, or 16 and 15, so they're delighted if we're going out on a long run. So, but yeah, it's a huge commitment, but yeah, I've loved it. I've loved the whole training block. So
Mm.
I hope the race will be as good.
Yeah, fingers crossed it will be. And like there's a massive sense of achievement when you start ticking off those longer distances and your long runs, thinking like I can never run 20K, I can never run 25K. And as you say, you
Yeah,
get up to that 32K mark and you're like, whoa, I've just done that. Like it's a great sense of accomplishment.
it's wonderful. And I keep going back to 3 years ago where I was saying I couldn't see myself running beyond 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. And I
Mm.
remember Ivan's brother was kind of saying we were thinking about doing a marathon, and we're thinking about where four of us will go out and do it together.
Mm.
And I was going, I'll never run 11 kilometers as my leg or whatever we had to do. And here am I doing 42, hopefully, kilometers from the week.
And you certainly will be. And I suppose like I've run a marathon, you're about to run a marathon. Like it's any I think anybody can do a marathon if they get the right training in place, and it's a lot to do with confidence as well. As you say, like people think to themselves, I could never run 2K, I could never run 5K. It's just consistency and sticking at it, and just like telling yourself that you are able to do it is probably the hardest part.
Yeah, and I think once we all finished our long runs recently, we were all going, that's it, that's the worst of the training done. We've managed to do that. And now it's a case of just we being able to do it on the day. My only my only thing is there's a huge amount of people, and probably with the best will in the world, but they're all telling you the horror stories that they've
Oh
heard
yeah.
about marathon. Nobody says, oh yeah, there was thousands finished. They all tell you the story of the guy collapsing after 25 miles or whatever, or struggling at the finish line. But no, I feel I have. It's amazing how strong I have felt
Mm.
after completing the training block, and just when you start saying I'm only doing 21 kilometers this
Yeah.
weekend, that's sometimes you have to pinch yourself to think back, and when you think you couldn't even do 5 kilometers, so
Mm.
it's
Yeah, exactly.
so, and I think the beauty of running is that everybody can build, and the first 3 kilometers on every run is the hardest. I find anyway, I find it really difficult. And then once you get beyond that, then I'm sure you know that yourself, once you get beyond the initial
Yeah.
part, everything starts to flow into place.
100%. Once you get your pace and once you settle into your rhythm, you're fine. Like, I actually
Yeah.
could do this all day. I could do this all day.
Yeah.
What's the plan for the race now, Paul? Are you going to go with a pacing group or how are you going to work it?
I don't that's still I'm meeting with the coach pretty soon, and we're going to discuss more of the strategy. I've been really concentrating on my paces. I've always said I wanted to do it in 4.5 hours. I might be able to do it a little bit quicker, but if it's tropical heat,
Yeah.
I'll just I'll finish. If it's a rainy day, which it looks like it could be, it might suit. But I'll be going really taking it easy at the start, build up to a comfortable pace, and then if I'm feeling confident, I'll push on. But I'm not going to break any, break
Hmm.
any records. But I'll do my best to take it easy at the start, try and enjoy the experience as well, because there's no point in me, my first marathon, looking at my watch and trying to get my paces going. But I want to finish at a kind of a nice time as well, for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And hopefully the weather will be okay because the last 2 years, as you mentioned, that heat was Horrific. 2 years ago, I did it in 2023. The heat was just so horrific. I had to pace back massively after 10 miles. I wasn't going to be able to keep up the pacing group. So hopefully, and last year was similar as well. So
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
it's going to, the weather will be okay because that heat will play a massive factor. But the support, you know how special Cork is, the support around the course. Especially that run into Patrick Street, Padraig. It's just a very, very special way to finish a race.
It is, and it only hit me as I was doing, because I am a Cork boy, so coming, worked on Patrick Street, so it was all those emotions. And as I said, my wife does finish a little bit before me on most races, but like I just ran straight over and I was going, that is my greatest sporting achievement. And I know that sounds a bit, but that was a half marathon last year and got
Wonderful.
quite emotional by the whole thing. So I could be blubbering all the way up Patrick Street this year, so we'll see. But it's wonderful. And love going through the estates and people hosing you down and giving you
Yeah,
encouragement,
yeah, yeah.
all those things which are great, in a lot of races, but I know the marathon is even more special.
Yeah, I finished my Cork City Marathon, my only marathon, with my two girls running alongside me to the finish line. Was just
Brilliant.
a spectacular moment. Have that photograph framed, and it's just a moment that as you say, just you'll never ever forget. So Padraig, like just to wrap up, what's your advice to people who are listening now, thinking to themselves, "I'd love to start running, but I'm afraid to start running because I don't know how to run. If I go to running club, people will laugh at me because I'm so slow." Which, by the way, people won't. People love to have you at the running club, talk to people. What's your advice to people out there who would love to run and do what you do?
For me, parkrun was, I should have said that earlier. The parkrun was a huge part of getting that confidence of knowing I can just run with people, and even knowing that some people are slower, some people are faster, but everyone is welcoming. So it's take that step, and I think the first 3 or 4 kilometers are always the hardest step. So get on a Couch to 5K program, make the park run your goal. And for sure, as you say, once you get in amongst the running community, and if
Mm,
you're running a kilometer, if you're running 2 kilometers, you are a runner. There's no pride, and nobody is going to go, you're not.
mm,
So don't be afraid of it. Get the right shoes, get the
100%.
right kit, and make the park run your aim. And once you do that, then it kicks in, and you'll want to do way more. And there's loads of races always around Cork, Munster,
Mm,
Ireland. Well worth doing.
certainly is. Padraig, I'm not going to wish you luck because you don't need it. You've done the training. It's going to go very, very well for you on the day. Looking forward to seeing you afterwards at the after party in Clancy's for the runner's
Yeah,
diary, and I can't wait to hear how you get on.
brilliant. Thanks very much for your time.